Okay, let's talk about the only thing any podcast has been talking about. Kevin Durant trades. I'm glad everyone that's listening knows how excited I am to talk about this. So, James, I want to hear you're actually a fake trade master. And
Maybe some
still,
might say.
I mean, look, the volume of fake trades you do and the pseudo realism that you instill in those fake trades is an art form. It's like people can be upset about the fake trades. And I'm like, look, if someone, if you're doing, Iron Chef and they give you the ingredient fecal matter and you make something that's edible and or potentially edible, you're a master chef.
Thank you for recognizing my mastery, man. Honestly, I do. You know, I work with what I'm given. I try my best. That's
Hey
all
man,
I can
we
do.
everyone that does basketball writing has had to do those things, and you're like, my mental gymnastics are getting me the regionals.
Here's my thing. And we're digressing, but I actually love writing fake trades, but it just there's a certain point of diminishing return, I guess, or like
Oh yeah, no, fake trades are fun because it's like putting like puzzle pieces together. And you're trying to like
yeah.
make everything work, and then people are like, "I fucking hate this. How could you? There's no way we'd give up R.J. Barrett and a first round
No,
pick
yeah,
for Donovan Mitchell." And it's like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know. And if
Sorry.
sometimes you write one and you think it seems reasonable, and then you get attacked for it, and you realize, like, you know what? Okay, that's not a great fake trade, but like I'm not trying to sink your franchise or something. I just, it was the end of a long day. Well, what do you want from me? Like, anyway.
I'm just looking at box plus minus. I'm not looking at your heart and soul, bud. Um,
Exactly.
okay, digress too much. Kevin Durant, big trades. James, go.
Yeah. So to me, what makes the most sense when I look at it right now, right, is a three-team jobby that
Ooh,
sends Donovan Mitchell to. Okay, let's assume that Aiden signs a offer with the Pacers, which I kind of think is going to happen,
okay,
right?
yeah.
Suns get Kevin Durant. Jazz get a lot of picks, basically, and Ben Simmons, right?
That's
Uh,
I would like that if I'm the Jazz.
yeah, and Nets get Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, and maybe a pick or two. That's about where I'm at. That's what makes the most sense to me.
How's that work in terms of salary for the Suns?
It
Oh, it's
works.
because Aiton is not there.
Aiton's gone, exactly. So
Aiton's gone, so it
they
opens up the
suddenly have a,
salary cap space, and then you move off the 19 million of Bridges, and that allows you to bring in.
and I think they might have to move Cam Johnson too. But I mean, he'd be valuable to either team though.
Yeah, man, I like that deal in terms of the creativity, and it does feel interesting where it's like Donovan Mitchell gets his own team.
Yeah,
He gets to
he
go to
gets a
New
great
York.
sidekick right off the bat. Defensive player of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Probably the best 3-and-D in the league.
Yeah. And like, they'll have picks to rebuild, they'll get something back. I don't hate that. The only thing is that like if I'm the Suns, God, like going from being one of the deepest teams in the league to being real top heavy and counting on two guys who are like 34 and plus, it's a risk and a swing I think you need to take based upon like they were in the finals last season. They got humiliated. They got butt fucked on national TV.
Yeah, they did.
And they were the one seed. Everyone thought they were like going to have a clean runway to the finals, or at least a clean runway to the Golden State Warriors. And it's the type of swing I think you need to take because Chris Paul isn't getting any younger. And I think when he's not at this level, I don't know if they're really like a real title contender. And like, do you think a core of Booker, Ayton, Bridges is a title team?
Well, like I guess I would
Actually, now
have to
I say
say
that, yeah.
yes. Well, but on paper, not necessarily. But I mean, for the fact that like they made the finals and then they won 64 games the next year, so like you can't say they're not a contender.
Yeah, but
But
without Paul, right? Like, because I'm thinking like from
without Paul, sorry, no, probably not.
well, because I
Probably
guess
not.
the question would be how good is Booker if he's the guy, if he's just the offense, and then
Yeah,
the
no,
other
probably
question
good
is
enough to lead a first round team, but not much better.
I think he could be a second round team. I just like I've never been as high on Booker as like some people are like he's a superstar. Like he shouldn't be on the cover of NBA 2K. Like I will stamp that. Like, and that's not a diss on him. It's like one of the 5 best players in the world should be on the cover of NBA 2K. But the problem is, I think like 4 of the 5 best players in the world right now are not from America. Which,
yeah, I think Giannis was on the cover before.
I know, just making xenophobic
You're just saying
jokes.
things. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. We're just podcasting here, you know. So.
Exactly. We're just doing the Bill Simmons thing. Where like we're just not really thinking about what we're saying.
Fuck Jalen Green.
Yeah, exactly. Words are flowing out like whatever the Beatles lyrics are for that across the universe. Anyways,
I am the walrus.
That's a difference. That's not okay. We're not just gonna name drop. Sorry, Pepper's Lonely Hearts. We're not just like name drop Beatles songs.
Let it be, man. Just let it be and move on.
I want to slap your face. Is that one of their songs?
You can't. That's a Beatles song.
That's a Beatles song. Oh God, what the fuck were we even talking about?
Kevin Durant trades.
Yeah, Kevin Durant trades. They happen. No, but with the Suns, it's just like I could see if Ayton really developed and Booker gets a little bit better and Bridges kind of stays around where he's at, maybe like has like a good year, they could be there. But I like the Suns going after Durant. I like the Pelicans going after Durant and using Brandon Ingram as the guy to try to make the deal happen. I don't know, would they also have to trade Ben Simmons in that situation? That fucking rule has got to go. It's just I hate it. It's like
it jams up so many Kevin Durant trades, dude. It's crazy.
I know. It's just like the thing that I hate about it is it's just like, what was this trying? Like, I guess it was they're trying to prevent players that signed their first extension from being able to force trades to people that were of a similar age bracket.
Maybe that's exactly it. Yeah.
Trying to protect small market teams, but really all it does is just kind of like fuck over a small market team that like has one of those guys and has like a disgruntled superstar and is trying to like, restart the timeline. But if the Pelicans could do a Brandon Ingram thing, I think that makes a lot of sense for the Nets.
May I?
Yeah.
I think they should do Zion, which
they can't.
Maybe you gotta reroute Simmons, I guess, but
also they just extended Zion, so they can't trade him unless they technically sign and trade, and then you'd be like hard cap. You have to like wait, I think a little while.
Okay. Well, it's wait as long as he had to. But here's my thinking: is that like Zion, he's become pretty unreliable. His body's become pretty unreliable. It's not his fault, but like what you don't want to do is trade Ingram and like 5 picks for Kevin Durant.
They got a lot of extra picks though.
They do. They have great draft capital, but they could use that to strengthen their core even more at the same time. I don't know if they would need to, but here's my thing. Ingram is a perfect second option, man. He's a lethal second option. And then CJ McCollum is an amazing third option. Like, you got a serious squad there, and you don't need to worry about Zion gets hurt for the year, and now it's Kevin Durant and CJ McCollum. Like, that's probably not a championship team,
So here's my thing. Durant for Ingram makes the most sense for one reason to me. If we're doing Pokemon, the first form of the Pokemon would be Brandon Ingram. And the evolved form
would be Kevin Durant.
No, there'd be another evolved form after that. That would be Kevin Durant.
Who's the in-between? Jabari Smith Jr.
Poku. But you get my point.
I do.
It's like, I think it's like they're very similar players, except Durant is just way fucking better at everything. And like, here's the thing. You get one healthy season and playoff run of Zion and KD together with CJ McCollum as your third option. And if you're able to keep Herb Jones, I mean, you ship Jonas Valanciunas out of there. You go put like any fucking center in that situation, or you don't even have a center. I don't give a shit. Like that core right there. I mean, because you're the Pelicans, you ain't got shit. There ain't nothing hanging in your fucking rafters, right?
Yeah.
One season, it's worth it. I'm like, and with Zion, I think it actually gives you more of an impetus to go make these short-sighted fucking moves, because you're right. He isn't reliable. But if you just play he's not reliable, we can't ever take any big swings, then you're not going to win anything with him. Go do it now.
Here, yeah, that's a sell for sure. Let me say a few things to that. First of all, I will concede that the team would have a higher ceiling with Williamson, but but a substantially lower floor. And I like the ceiling enough with a KD, Ingram, McCollum team. You know, like go get Mike Conley maybe. Like like explore some options. Even Jonas Valanciunas is like not a bad fourth option. Like
He's really good. He's not
yeah,
a
he's
great
a fourth
defense.
option on a championship team.
People don't realize that he's actually a very good player. I mean, he's a little archaic, and so like he's not super
But he
super
shoots
valuable.
threes now too. I think he shot like 36 from deep last year on volume.
Yeah, it's really his defense is that like the concern, but like
Yes. Yeah.
offensively, absolute monster. Like one of the best offensive low block centers in the entire league. Like,
Yeah.
um,
So to me, I'm like, I don't know. I just have very little remaining faith in Zion Williamson to play a season. And like,
if you get one season from him,
but if you don't, you just traded
with
Ingram and draft capital for nothing.
I know, but you're the goddamn Pelicans. You got like you ain't got nothing, right? Like this is your chance. Like this is my point. This is the one chance they have to maybe land a player like Kevin Durant, not through the draft,
Yeah.
right? This is their one chance to make a move to literally give themselves the inside track on a championship. And switching Zion for KD, I don't think raises those chances enough for me to be like, well, let's just keep this young core together and ride it out. It's like
Oh,
if
I
you're
do.
going for KD, you're going for a championship the next two seasons. Who gives you a better chance the next two seasons of winning a championship if KD's there? I say Zion.
I say Ingram. So let me say a couple of things. First of all, your point about the Pokemon evolution is well taken, except for that, like that sounds funny, but they don't have conflicting weaknesses. Like you can double down on shooting and ball handling. You know what I mean? And they're both good defensively. So there's no issue with the pairing, the Durant Ingram pairing, in my opinion.
That is true. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So that's one thing.
But think
And then
about Zion and Durant on offense as
oh,
a
for
pairing.
sure.
I
So
mean,
here's what I think right now. Okay, we are poor people, and we're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay, and we've hit 500,000, and we're like, we're a team, like I don't know, roommates, and you want to go for the million, and I'm saying, dude, 500,000 changes our lives, and you're saying, yeah, but a million changes it twice as much. Like we both have a point. That's what I think about it.
I agree with you. I just think in the NBA where there's revenue sharing, so like the cost, like the actual financial cost of making a costly move is not really realistic. It's like the difference is like I'm like it would be a situation in my mind where it's like, yo, like we're gonna have $250,000 if we go for the $100,000, and you're like, well, let's just make sure we get 500,000. Like that's kind of how I see it, where it's like it's not like you go all in and like then you're left with nothing. It's like you would still have Zion, CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, KD, right? Like you would have a like still like a core. Final thing I want to say on the Kevin Durant front, I've been saying this to you in private and it needs to come out in the open. You know, the best spot for Kevin Durant is on the Nets and just telling Kyrie to play this season out, and then next season he can become a free agent, and then next season the Nets, who will have had let teams have like an off season to prepare to get him, can go get him. Because I still just don't know how you look at Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and the holy trinity of bench tertiary shooters in Seth Curry, Patty Mills, and everyone's least favorite player now, Joe Harris, who's like last time he was healthy was a 45% 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just look at that situation and go, like, come on. Like, come on. And they have some of those Philadelphia picks, right? Like, they're not like pick poor or as pick poor as people would make them out to be. I think that team could win a championship. Like, and they're the only team that doesn't have to gut their roster to get him.
Yeah. Listen, now we should move on, and we're gonna have to kind of plow through. But I really need to say something before we do.
Yes.
And sorry, man. Your point is well taken enough. Yeah. I mean, if you were to stay with the Nets, with a core of Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Joe Harris. They're clearly one of the best teams in the league. You know, Seth Curry, Nick Claxton, TJ Warren, Royce O'Neal. Like they have an amazing
They have a
team. It's funny.
really fucking good
Yeah.
team. It
No,
doesn't make any sense why,
it
like, just
it's hilarious, honestly.
stay there for one fucking year. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, only don't because of the Rockets draft scenario. But so taking it way back, the Pelicans with that fourth overall pick in the 2019 draft, you were right, selected DeAndre Hunter, and then they traded him to the Hawks in exchange for the 8th overall pick, which they used on Jackson Hayes, and the 17th overall pick, which they used on Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Nah, you know, honestly, I don't know if that was good or bad.
I think I lean bad, but like not horrible. You know, Hayes showed some upside last year. I like Hunter. Nickeil Alexander-Walker ain't no good at all, but he's already on Jazz.
Yeah.
All right, let's move it.
All right, Kevin Durant trades. This is until he's traded. This is going to be the only conversation any podcast has. So, thanks, Kevin. Like, I don't want to be like, I hate all this Twitter attention and I hate all this attention. I don't need all this attention. Then stop doing things to draw attention to yourself. For fuck's sake. Mainly stop being friends with Kyrie Irving. That'd be the easiest way to do that one.
This guy's a top 5 all-time NBA scorer, and he claims to hate Twitter, and he's on Twitter more often than I am, an aspiring basketball journalist. So, you know, let's see what that's all about.
Great ball player, not a great liar.